Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Still not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Maybe one day. Good morning. Today is the 21st of March and this is part 3 of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the 2025 Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show here at the NEC in Birmingham. I do apologise in advance if I get things wrong, if I fall over, if it's a terrible shambolic mess, if I get interrupted by announcement, just the way that it goes on this channel. So we're still inside the Classic Car Auctions sale preview here. The auction takes place tomorrow and on a Sunday. That's why we're in here today. Start with this Aston Martin DB7. This is a 1995, quite an early one, of a 3.2 Jaguar-derived 6-cylinder supercharged engine. These actually are not as expensive as you'd imagine at all. This car is £10,000 to £15,000. It's a manual as well, which I think is maybe more desirable, I'm not sure. I like the colour, and of course it has a beige leather interior with wood and piping and also some green bits in it. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. That is very nice. Those door handles are actually off a Mazda 323, as are the rear lights, but it doesn't matter. It's still very nice. I feel like going one of those actually, so we might see them at the channel at some point this year. Next to it, we've got this Mercedes. I'm going to have to check, viewers, this rev counter because I think we can't talk about it. We can't, so we're going to move on. Have a look at this next one. This is a 2001 W220 S320. The estimate on this is £3,000 to £4,000. That doesn't seem like a lot of money, but you've got to remember these start at about £900. These cars for an absolute and utter wreck, so you've got to be careful. No reserve on this, £3,000 to £4,000. I'd have go one of these at some point just to see what it's like. I'm not sure I'd ever own one, but they are interesting. And then we've got another Mercedes here. In fact, this one is a 560 SEC. This is one of the late ones actually. I think this is a 91 or something, so it's one of the last of this particular shape.
Good history. Good history.
There we go. Yeah, 91. C126. £35,000 to £40,000. Let's see if we can have a look at the interior as well, viewers. No, I've been denied my beige leather interior effects. What am I going to do, viewers? I'll have to find some more, won't we? Not find it in here, though, with this Golf GTI. This is quite a late one, actually, for a Mark 1. It's an 83. It's 16 to 18,000. The mileage is a bit high. It doesn't really matter, anyway. But the restoration, apparently, costs far, far more than the car's value. I wonder if these are actually going up still, these Mark 1 GTIs. Red seat belts. Competition shift lever there. Yeah, interesting. Then something else here that looks like it's ready for competition, this E30 with appropriate plate. This is a 325, viewers. A 316. What engine has it got in it then? Oh, it's a 2.5. Okay, so it sort of is a 325. It's just originally started life as a 316, which is right at the bottom, really. What value is this? 12 to 15. This is 1990. Something else in Mercedes a little bit. It was 1991 Porsche 928 Series 4. Say an automatic, most of them were. £25,000 to £30,000. Finally sort of started to go up in value now, these 928s. They were sort of on the floor of the values for years. Another sort of classic that originated in the 70s, this 350 SL. It's the R107 shape. I initially thought when looking at the pictures online last night that this was a facelift car, but it's not. It's a 79. It's got some extraordinary body kit on it, 16 to 20,000. So relatively affordable for one of these, actually. Yeah, it's just got this sort of deep chin spoiler and things like that, and it just makes it look a bit more modern than it is. Something that is in really nice condition is this this Mini here. I can't remember what the trim level was called. They weren't marketed as a Rover Mini, but they'd appear in a Rover brochure, sort of Rover dealer, so that's fine to call it that if you like. It's not a problem. This is a Mark 7, this is an early one. 21,000 miles from new, 10 to 12,000 pounds. That seems pretty reasonable for one of these, I think. It's not a Cooper, but not everybody wants a Cooper. Yeah, that looks good. Also looking good is this Renault Sport Clio. This is a 182. Same price as that Mini actually, about 10 to 12,000. This is a 2005, so last year they made these. And 34,000 miles from new. It's in very nice condition actually. I saw one the other day at Eubanks auctions, which was a lot cheaper because it wasn't quite as nice as this, but again, they are going up in value. Next is this Bentley. You look at this interior, viewers. Look at all this wood and beige leather and it's 2006 Continental Flying Spur. The personal plate's been taken off. 8 to 12,000, so a little bit less estimate than the Clio. Which one would you prefer, viewers? Would you prefer this or that? Difficult choice. I personally would go for a slightly older model of Bentley if it were me, like this 1994 Turbo RL. 16 to 18,000, so a bit more than the Flying Spur, but acres and acres of cream leather and wood. Very, very nice, viewers. But I think I might have had something a little bit more to my taste here. This Brooklyn's very, very nice, viewers, in this beautiful green colour. And, of course, a beige leather interior with wood and piping. And you could smell it. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. 31,000 miles from new, 14 to 18,000. And this will be a bit more powerful than the Silver Spur I drove last year. But very similar car, but just a little bit better and more to my taste. I'll have one of those, please. Thank you very much. Right, then we have an Arnage, an early one actually. It's a red label, 2001. Same sort of estimate as the Brooklands, 14 to 18,000. And oh, yes, viewers, more beige leather interior goodness, more wooden piping, and we've got bits of green as well. It's that door closing noise. I think I prefer the Brooklands, but that is nice. What if I can have both? Actually, I'm not allowed any more cars at all at the moment. I don't mind even saying that. My lady wife won't let me have any more cars, so there we go. Can't talk about that. Let's go on to this one. We can talk about, I think. Another one of these SECs. This is a little less expensive than the other one. It is an 87 560, 12 to 15,000. Looks nice. Are those the original wheels for it, or are they off something else? Anyway. Right, this is a Mini, but not a Mini as we know it. It's got some absolutely crazy engine in the back. Wow. It's got 250 horsepower Ford small block V8. Topped by most of the Mini Countrymen. Okay, I don't know about that. The Countrymans were not in production at this stage. It was the 79. It would be based on a van, and things like the door handles and the windows and anything like that give it away. That's based on a van or pickup. Right, let's move on to something else. An MG RV8 from 1995, woodcut green, later more desirable R380 gearbox. And another beige leather interior with wood, which smells good too. I do like it, viewers. I wish these would come with electric windows actually. Apart from that, I think they're pretty good. 18 to £22,000. Very nice. And then a 1996 SL500, a post-facelift one. Obsidian Black, 8 to 10,000. I don't know what's going on with the paint. The paint's a bit weird. That really needs a good sort of polish, and that'll be fine after that, won't it? Can't see any rust or anything on there, so just enjoy your beige leather interior of wood goodness, I think, in something like this. Excellent. Right, viewers, another Boxster. Also a Boxster S, also a first generation car, also a facelift. I prefer the interior of this to the last one, actually, personally. 10 to 12,000, about the same as the other one, I think. About 40,000 miles. Personally, though, I think I'm more of a fan of this Honda S2000, which is, again, about the same amount of money. It's a similar age, a 2002, 48,000 miles. These are definitely a lot more expensive than they used to be, aren't they? I'd really like to try an S2000 at some point. I don't know if it will happen, but you know, I'd like to try one. Then we've got another one of these R129 Mercedes, SL500 this time. Can I open the door, viewers, or is it locked? Oh no, viewers, my beige leather interior fix has been denied. Yes, beige leather interior with wood again. Quite late, this one, actually. It's in 99. It finished, I think, in 2001, wasn't it, these? 10 to 12,000. Again, it's about the same price as the S2000 and the Boxster. What do you choose, viewers? 2002 996.2 Cabriolet Carrera 2, 14 to 18. Yeah, that seems realistic to me. 69,000 miles. It's got the 6-speed manual in it, this one. Yeah. But a BMW Z3, now these values for these are all over the place, actually, really. You can buy some very cheap ones, and nice ones, the 6-cylinder ones, are much more expensive. This is a 1.9, 3 to 4,000, so it'll be on the sort of upper end for one of these. 97 is a relatively early one. Someone's changed the headlamps, haven't they? And then a Z4, this one's a 2.5. Actually estimated a little bit more than the Z3. It's 2003, this car. 5 to 6,000. Oh, about 28,000 miles. That'd be a reason, won't it, because of the mileage. Again, that's a car I'd like to try. I've driven a Z3, but not a Z4. So let's go on to something a bit older now. Very old, actually, indeed. What do we have here? Yes, it's a Morgan. It's a +4 from 1958 with a beige leather interior and wood. Because of course. 14 to 18,000. Not really my kind of thing particularly, but I appreciate Morgans for what they are. Then 1952 MG TD. 12 to 15,000. Again, we saw one of these at Eubank the other day. I can't remember what this one that one was actually. Like this was beautiful. Relatively late one, they finished production I think in 1953. So something quite unusual here. There's actually two of these in the auction. This is a Sunbeam Mark III Drop-Head Coupe. 3 to 5,000 pounds. Again, rarity and age do not equal value necessarily. This one is just called a Mark III. The early ones were called the Sunbeam Talbot 90, but after the takeover of Sunbeam by the Roots Group, they just rebadged it as the Mark III. Another TD here. This is actually a 53. It's one of the last ones. 12 to 15,000. Older restoration, but still looks pretty good, to be honest, actually. Is that beige leather or not? I don't know. Now, we're talking a bit earlier about the values of certain very traditionally valuable classics, and one of them is, of course, an E-Type. Now, this is showing, actually, that E-Types are getting quite a bit cheaper. This one is presumably a little less desirable because it's a left-hand drive car, 45 to 55,000. And it's, again, it's I think an older restoration perhaps, but it still looks great actually. I drove one of these last year. It was a Series 3 coupe with a 5-speed manual conversion, and that was great. Apart from the fact the pedal box is tiny. Then we've got a 911 here. Looks to be from the 70s, is it? Or is it? Or am I wrong? Yes, it is a 77. Someone's sort of been adding and subtracting features perhaps on this. It looks a little bit unusual. 35 to 40,000 pounds. Yet later bodywork. It looks a bit like a 964. It looks like. Interesting. 2.7 911S Targa. Then another one of these BMW M3 convertibles. This is an earlier one compared with the 98 car we saw. You can tell it's actually by the steering wheel for a start. 10 to 12,000 pounds, like so many other cars. 3.2 Evolution convertible. It does look rather nice. Now, we were talking earlier on about 993s and things like that. Here's a 993. 96, 50 to 60,000 pounds. They are starting to soften in value a little bit, these. Don't quite know why. They're still fantastic. I think the 993 is my favourite type of Porsche 911 ever. That looks great. Then a Mexico. Yes, in 1975, so one of the last of the Mark 1s. 35 to 40,000 pounds. Fully restored late production. Type 49 shell. There we go. That'll be going up in value again. That might actually sort of exceed its estimate. Knowing the price of one of Mark II Escorts. Now, let's have a look at this. It's actual Abarth. Yeah, it is. Abarth Tributo. An homage. 8 to 10,000 pounds. If that's a genuine Abarth, it'd be worth a lot more than that. And then another classic Mini. 28 to 32,000 pounds. A 67 Morris Mini Cooper S with a 1275cc engine. It's almost like Italian job spec or those Mark IIs, I can't remember now. And then there's Alfa Romeo here. Lovely, lovely 63 Giulia Spider 1600. 22 to 26,000 pounds. It's cheaper than the Mini. Would you have one of these or the Mini? I don't know, viewers. Answer in the comment section below. So we have here a very nice Jaguar XK 4.2 convertible, X150 shape 2006, early one, 6 to 8,000 pounds. Yeah, these are sensible second-hand classics, Bunny. Although the later ones aren't eligible because they're not 15 years old yet. This one though is. Why is not got a plate on it? Interesting. Something else that's rising in value, a Subaru Impreza first generation. Now, I read an online catalogue on this and it's actually a bit wrong. It says that the WRX was sold in this country from 1994, but they weren't called WRX over here, they were called the Turbo 2000. But this is a WRX and it's a 93, this would have been Japanese import. 10 to 15,000 it is. It's interesting to see an early one like this. I remember those when they first came out. Next we have a couple of Golf Mark II GTIs. This one is a big bumper 16 valve car from 1990. The colour is Oakwood Green. I just checked that with Mr. Quirk from Planet Auto, who is Oak Green, not Oakwood Green, who is an enthusiast for these. He's got one, the 16 valve like this. Matching numbers, trophy wooden, 10 to 25,000 pounds. So 20 to 25,000 pounds. I do apologise. Yeah. Do you get these awards as well? Do they come with it? So we sent the picture over to Mr. Quirk from Planet Auto of both these cars. He prefers the big bumper one, but this is significantly cheaper. It's also a 16 valve, but it's only 8 to 10,000 pounds. It just goes to show that the colour and the specification of a car makes a real difference. Even Although these two cars are sort of fundamentally the same. It's very nice, but I also prefer the green one. Saab 900 Turbo. I've driven a 900 of this year. It was an 83, the one I drove. This, like this one, is 83, but it was a 900 GL Saloon base model. This is not a base model, viewers, which is why it's not worth like 2 to 3 that one was worth. This is 12 to 15. That is in really lovely original condition. It's got original dealer's sticker on it, things like that. Massive, massive big bumpers they had back in the day. They're very interesting cars, 900 actually. And then we'll move on to this Subaru Impreza. This is a 5-door. As you can see, it's called a Turbo 2000 because that was the name of them in this country. Not the WRX, not until the second generation one. This one is 1999, £7,000 to £9,000. Only 68,000 miles. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a lot of like late 1990s Japanese cars, they wouldn't be worth that much because it's an Impreza. It's a bit more. Something else that's probably rising in value as well is this Renault 5 1989, a GT Turbo Raider. I think these have a 1.4 Crayon Font engine in them. I have driven a Renault 5. It was a 5 Campus from 1994. It was a bit different from this. Are we open? Can we have a look inside then? Yes. Ooh, electric windows and everything. And there's the door lock button that you don't want to have somebody sort of put something through the window and just press to unlock the car. Just make sure you close your windows. Be better, won't it? Yeah, excellent. And something else from the 80s that going up in value. An 87 BMW 635 CSI, 22 to £25,000. Very nice. I remember in Wheeler Dealers at about, I don't know, 2004-05, they did one of these. I think it might be paid £3-4 grand for it or something. Something like that. Very nice. Also you've got a usual thing. It's a Lancer, but this isn't a saloon. It's a wagon, it's an estate. Evo 10, sorry, Evo 9, not read the ring was rightly, Evo 9, one of very few manual gearbox examples in the UK, so it would have been imported. That is good. Lancer Evolution. There's the back of that BMW. How much are we asking for this Lancer then? Estimate £25,000 to £30,000. Increasing. The up-and-coming classic. How about this Mini 1275 GT? Interesting wheels on this. Being made from, I think, 69 to 1980. They did change quite a fair bit during that time. Sort of like a replacement with a Cooper. The Cooper continued, I think, to 71. 1979 1275 GT Homage. So you've got a Metro engine, BMG Metro 4-speed gearbox. A proper little B-Road blaster apparently, 10 to 12,000. What about this Boxster? How much is this? This is an early one, isn't it? It's 2.7 this one. The very early ones were 2.5 from 2000. It's a little bit less than a Mini. It's 5 to 6,000. Again, these cars are in sensible second-hand classics territory, so not too expensive at the moment. Oh, viewers, the Princess 2200 HL. The one I drove, it was a Princess 2. This is a slightly earlier car. It was a 2200 HLS. This is just a 2200 HL. It's also 78. This one is an automatic. Estimate is 8 to 10. As that gentleman's just said. These are, again, sort of rising in value. There's not many left. I mean, these were absolutely valueless for years. And people hated them, but they don't seem to anymore. And Mr. Charles from the Grand Theft Auto channel has also driven one of those, and lots of people liked his video. Here's some of the specification to this. It was that car actually sold quite recently on an auction as well. Barron's in Southampton. Then we've got something that started life as an 84 Mini Mayfair and isn't anymore. 8 to 10,000, like a Cooper S Homage You can tell straight away it's not a real one because it's got a related body shell on it. But there's so many different things you can do to a Mini. Why not if you into that kind of thing? And then we've got the Suzuki WizKid here. That wasn't the official name for them. They were called the SC100. This would have been a very early one, actually. They were introduced in 1979, and one of the first media appearances of WizKid was in a 1979 episode of Professionals called Involvement, when Suzuki not only supplied one of these, but also a couple of their Jeeps. I can't remember what they were called at the time now. Yeah. SC100 GX, known as the WizKid, 8 to 10,000. Very rare. Don't think they were that popular, but they're fascinating little things. I think the engine's in the back or something. Yeah, it is. That'd be the kind of thing I would like to actually try myself, viewers. Then we've got something a bit more traditional as a classic. A 71 MGB Roadster. There's a fish mouth grill on it. 10 to 12,000. There we go, fish mouth grill. I think only available at 71.72. I prefer though this Rover SD1. This is quite an early one. It's a 77. They came out in June 76. This one is a manual actually, which is unusual. Most of them I see are automatics actually at this sort of age. And before you say it, viewers, yes, I know they used one of these in the new Avengers and Professionals. It was the same car. It was a very early pre-production one in turmeric yellow, driven by Patrick McNee and then later Gordon Jackson Professionals. Then we've got its sort of predecessor here, again a 3500, but a P6 model. CG was an old Southampton plate. 75 Huntsman edition. I've never heard of a Huntsman edition before. Maybe I'll ask Alex from Alex's Assets, who has a P6, about that. She's around here somewhere. Yeah, very nice. What's the name of the colour? Oh, I can't remember now for the life of me. 8 to 10,000 actually, so a little bit more than the SD1. Yeah, that's nice. I think though my attention has been grabbed by this Volvo 1800 ES. As a member of the Volvo Owners Club, I love stuff like this. It's got 240 GLT wheels on it, which are a direct swap I think for these. This is the last of the 1800s, the 800 ES. This is a 72. They were finished in 1973. It's a very, very stylish car. I love that. 20 to 24,000. But next you've got the Chevy Camaro. Now, the plate on this car is not related to the age of it. It just would have been when the car was imported. Before 1981, if you imported the car into this country, they just slapped the plate of whatever year it was into it. Just explains the T registration. It's actually a 1970 and a half RS or SS. 20 to 25,000. It's nice. Let's have a look at the back as well whilst we're here. There is the fuel filler. Now this is a really rare car. This is a Dodge Meadowbrook. I think this is the only one actually imported into this country. It was imported by somebody who wanted it from new, I think. I read the story in the catalogue last night actually about this. 12 to 15,000. Yeah, traceable history back to 1956. And the only one registered in this country at the moment. Something else from the 50s is this BMW 502, 15 to 18,000. Do you see, if that was, an E30 or something, it'd be worth more. It's a 325, but it's a really old one. Baroque Angel, I think we used to call these. This is a sort of kind of this older era BMW when they were on quite shaky financial ground. The little 700 and the Uzetta that they were producing in the late 50s sort of saved the company really. Then we've got a very, very fast Morris Minor. It's quite a late one. I think this is a 69 actually, this one. So it started life like the 69 two-door that I drove in 2022. It was a standard one. This is not anymore, sorry, 68. Ford Crossflow, 125 horsepower, 12 to 15,000. Yeah, they are worth a lot more money actually if they've been modified like this one has. The battery would have been moved as well, because normally it sits in the middle there. Yeah, so we've addressed the gearbox and the brakes and the engine, the kind of things that would probably be quite fun to drive that actually. Then we've got sort of a Herbie sort of homage one here. I wonder what year this actually is. It's quite correct for a Herbie homage actually, this. It's 1960. It's 15 to 18,000. I wonder where that's come from. Right. Anyway, viewers, our time for this part is evaporated faster than the fuel in this Mercedes here. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below. And we shall see you again in part 4 for even more incorrect information.